Hello. I enjoyed eating so much yesterday that I thought I would do the same thing again today. Only this time I shall cook something different to what I did yesterday. One of the favourites in this household is curry. And why not make a curry? Why not indeed? There's going to be all sorts of strange and curious and elaborate things I will make at some point, but I need to get this out of the way because this is something we have a lot. So, this is going to be a mild egg curry. Boiled egg, of course. Boiled egg curry. And then some hot sauce for me. So, what do we need? Well, for starters, we need onions, garlic, ginger, tomatoes out of a tin. We don't need, but I'm going to have some lime pickle, eggs naturally, butter, and olive oil. And then for the mild sauce, some of this tandoori masala. It's not really a cheat because you still need to go about this in the correct way to make it taste good. Now I could go out of my way, and I will do at some point, to blend my own spice mix. But if you want the tandoori masala, and they do, it's already in that packet and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. Oh, yeah, that's just for the mild curry sauce as well. There'll be something else. For me, I mean, at least there's going to be chilies and some different spice mix and a bit of something else. What we also want is some sort of stodge, and that would be rice, except it's not. I'm going to do some bread. Everybody wants chapatis. I fancy naan bread. Naan bread's more interesting. It's a bit more involved in making, and I think I win because it's me making it. Well, I'm going to get the onions sorted out first, because ideally, the longer you cook the onions, the better they seem to become. You lose that sharp, nasty edge that makes your eyes bleed, and instead you get something that makes your mouth water. That's what cooking them does. Personally, when I cook an onion, I don't want any of the thin skin bits left on there. Half of it is actually edible, but it's rather thin, and I don't like it, so I just get rid of it. Chop the onions and then bung them into a non-stick pan that isn't really very well non-sticky any longer. As long as you've got some oil in there, it won't really stick anyway. It'll only stick if you burn the onions. And if you burn them, they won't taste as good. Unless you like burnt onions. That first onion wasn't really quite big enough. So the simple solution is to just put another one in, you know. There's room in the pan. I'm not filling the pan up, but I want there to be enough there, don't I? Instead of not enough there. Lime pickle again. We had lime pickle in the sausage casserole, but I don't put lime pickle in everything, but it does work quite well with certain things. If you like garlic, garlic goes in curry. In fact, it should be in it. But if you don't like it, you don't have to put any in. If you don't like the way it makes your fingers feel so sticky, get somebody else to cut it up for you. The longer you leave that, the better. There's no rush unless you're really hungry, and if you are, then you wouldn't be cooking it yourself. You just do one of those phone order things, wouldn't you, and get somebody else to do it for you. But then you don't experience the joys of making your own food. Somebody else isn't going to make it to your liking unless you don't know what your liking is. Maybe you don't. Anyway, I'm going to waste no time and move it on to the next thing for preparation. The bowl. Yeah, it's not aluminium, it is stainless steel. Sorry about that. Ooh. Last week I made bread. This is bread. That's what this is what it is. Yeah, that's all there is to it. It is just a type of bread. Not all bread's the same. But they do all include flour, and well, most of the technique's the same. Pour in the amount of flour into the bowl that you want, whatever that may be. I don't know how much you want. You might want that much, you might want that much. You might just want that much. I'm going to do that much, which is quite a lot actually. Then, because we're making naan bread rather than just chapatis, we want salt, which you use, and sugar as well. Sugar. Salt. Maybe you could say, I've put too much sugar in there, too much salt. But that's how I always do it. It seems to work. I reckon that's about the right amount of water. And if it's not, if it's too much, then of course what we need to do is we just basically add more flour as we go along. How long should you spend mixing this up? The answer is ages. All day. Maybe a week. You can never get bored with doing this. Whilst we're waiting for an opportune moment to stop messing with the flour and the yeast to sort itself out, we may as well cut up some ginger. Oh, I do love ginger. It's such an excellent, flavour, isn't it? I like it in curry. I like it to be nice big chunks of it. Incidentally, there are a couple of things that are not going into this curry that I would quite like, such as coriander. But I haven't got any. Well, I've got coriander seeds, but it's not quite the same as fresh coriander leaves. So it won't have that particular taste. Coriander, yes. Coriander stalks. That's the thing you want. Chopped up finely that go in with the onions, and it gives you this lovely aftertaste. If you like burping, you'll enjoy a good, proper curry burp with one of those. And again, if you don't like burping, or you find people who do burping quite disgusting, then you might want to avoid it, because it does encourage you to do exactly that. It's going to be cooking for quite a while, so that will soften up and just taste extra super duper special. And then we're back to this. As you see, I've made a nice little area there for the water to go into, and then it's just a case of gently mixing it all up. You don't have to do it gently, but if you don't do it gently, there's always the opportunity and the possibility to get it all over the floor, or all over your feet, or all over your beard, or which particular thing it can get all over. Well, I don't know. I'm not in your house. You could show me a picture of what you're going to get your flour all over if you want to do, but you don't have to do. In actual fact, I prefer it if you didn't. But I'm still giving the option there, just in case you really need to. Can you stand a spoon in it? Yes, you can. This, of course, is my favourite part of it, kneading the bread. There'll be no need for any kneading jokes today because I did them all last week, and they're completely unnecessary. They're not really funny. I will say, though, that you do need exceptionally clean hands. So you wash them. Make sure there's no dirt, oil, grit, whatever you get on your hands. Just make sure it's not on there. So if you're messing around with cars or messing around in the garden, make sure that there's no evidence of that on your digits before you start doing this, because it won't be pleasant. Ideally, you'd have a stainless steel workbench to do this on, because it's safer, better. You know, that's what they'd have in a bakery or any other place where lots of cooking's going on. But it's not the kind of thing that's really popular in houses because people don't like the look of it. And why would they? And so few people actually do any cooking in the first place. Why would they do that? That can just stay in the bowl for quite a while, and I won't even bother clearing this up because there's no actual point. Two reasons for that. One is I will be doing some more kneading there, and I'll be double kneading because I'll be putting some oil into it and some yogurt. Yes. And the other thing is, my wife loves cleaning this sort of stuff up. Now, as you can see, these onions are properly caramelized now. So we need to add some spices and tomatoes. Usually at this point I like to crank up the heat a little bit so that when I bung in the tomatoes, which are obviously very, very moist, you get some nice sizzling going on. Ready, ready. That's only half. I like them to be mixed up properly first. Every tomato gets a bit of fame when it sizzles away in the knackered non-stick pan. Yep. At some point, we're going to want to put some water in there, so why not just use the empty tin? I mean, you'll get the rest of the tomatoes out then, won't you, eh? Almost full is about the right amount. Once that's got up to temperature, bubbling away, just keep adding the water and, keep adding water to keep it the consistency that you like. Then, unlike many spice mixes, you can pretty much add a whole load of this stuff because it really is rather mild. In fact, would you like to know what's in it? Good. Coriander, yeah. Salt, of course. Chili, oh, I thought chili would be after paprika. I was expecting paprika to be the main ingredient, but apparently it's not. Celery, ginger, citric acid, garlic, silicon dioxide. Ah, I suppose that's where you start thinking about maybe I should be making my own spice mix. All I've got to do is copy that, but leave out the silicon dioxide and the colouring. I just had an idea. I'm making another curry sauce anyway. Why don't I make a special hot lentil sauce? Yeah, I have a thing for lentils. I don't know what it is. I just happen to really like them. They're okay just to cook really, but there is quite a bit of dirt in there. Chilies, eggs, mild curry, hot curry, bread, bananas. Don't forget to subscribe to Mustard in the Kitchen. Look, I have 75 already.
We'll have a look at it.
Yummy, yummy.